So this is the prototype for the Department of Education, and it's for the transition of children from nursery to primary school and how they can share that information. So I used the government prototyping kit, which looks like the real thing, but essentially is just a prototype. And it's been used for user testing purposes so that we can get some feedback from real users to be able to iterate on the actual prototype and to develop the concept further. So I'm just going to go through the pages now. We had a get starting page, and we had a list of children. So this is from an early year practitioner perspective. So the early year practitioner can see their list of children within the nursery. They can see what school it is that they're going to. They can have a look and see which information has been sent to the school, with information about the child and which information is still in progress and so forth. And they can also add a new child. And when they add a new child, they can enter details. And they can also go back in the prototype as well. And the prototype actually saves that information, which is really great. I'm just going to put test in here. And there's numerous questions around the child that a school would like to know. So we're collecting that information in a really easy way. And there's a total of 12 questions with the ability to upload information and documents. I'm just going to skip through these. And from user testing, we found that questions like, for example, this question, we did originally just have an additional information, but we found that teachers really wanted to know about medical needs and allergies specifically. So what we did is we changed the additional information question, we included this question, and then we had an other areas of concern question. So we're focusing really back on the child at all times. And what would happen is then they could check their answers before they send. They can even click edit. They can go back and they can continue. And what it would do then is it would send them straight back to this page. So rather than having to click through the answers again, to create the best experience, they just edit. Not that this would ever be, but and then they can go back and see their changes straight away. So they can check it, they can save it as a draft, or they can accept and send that information straight to the school. The consent of information, so considering GDPR, searching for a primary school. And this has all been done in HTML and Nunjux, which is what the government design system uses, which is made up of components and design patterns to actually build these pages together to create that sort of consistency, which looks literally just like the real thing, but you'd be surprised it's not. It's not live. And then they can confirm and send that information and select their preferences of what email that they would like to use and save and send that information. And they can then print or export. And then from a teacher perspective, it's very similar. So the teacher would view the pupils in a similar format to how the early year practitioner would. So the teachers would have a list of names, but they would also like to see their gender because they like to group pupils who are coming into the school, and also what nursery they're coming from. And they can click on somebody. This, of course, when the early year practitioner sends it across, will be full of information, and they can actually then contact that sender of information as well, with some details. Because what we found from user research is a lot of the teachers and early year practitioners really like to have that real conversation. And this is just a way of documenting that information, but of course it can always be expanded upon. So that is the prototype that I worked on. We did 2 user testing sessions, and we iterated on both of those user tests. And we shared with the wider team, the policy team, and it was very, very collaborative. And we ensured that we were not sort of just feature creeping either. We wanted to ensure that when we were actually creating the best experience for this, we were doing it based upon solid evidence and using that data to drive decisions and looking for what the majority of people were saying too.